Hello, this is Robert with Beyond 20. Today we're going to go into Cherwell and do some database exports. The current version of Cherwell that we're running today is version 5.0. The same is done with previous versions in 3 and 4. In order to do any database exporting, we have to open up the orange pill. Ensure we're selecting the correct database we want to export data from, and click OK. Any database-related actions are going to be here on the left-hand side under the database categories. In this example, we want to export a specific business object, such as the product catalog. To do that, click on Export Data. A new window pops up and allows you to export the entire system or specific business objects. We're going to scroll down and select Product Catalog. Now we need to choose a location to save the file. Cherwell default supports CSV for both export and importing. Depending on the size of the database, this particular business object may only take a second or two to fully export. Larger tables may require a minute or two. It'll all be dependent on the size of the data. So now let's import that data into our dev environment. We're going to close out of the Cherwell database we were in, and then log in to our development database, Cherwell Dev. Database restores are also done in the same area. So select Database on the left, and then select Run a one-off data import. This wizard will walk you through all the steps necessary to import the data that was just exported. We'll select the CSV file, click Open, and then make sure we select the correct business object, Product Catalog. Cherwell will default automatically map every field to the correct column in the CSV file. If this data was exported via Cherwell, everything should line up automatically. However, I always like to double check and scroll down the list and make sure there's nothing that's wrong. Since everything looks good, we can click Next. If there's a certain field that we don't need the data for, such as the price or the status, we can click and highlight and then select Do Not Import this column. In this case, we want to import everything. If there are any other data fields that need to be manipulated on the import, such as concatenating a full address based on the address 1 to city, state, zip, we'd be able to set those fields here through an expression. If our data contains rows of duplicate values, we might want to ignore those and only import unique rows. If we were to ignore duplicate values, we would have to select a specific field or column to ignore those on. In this case, we're not going to have any duplicate values, so we don't have to worry about checking this box. One key step on product catalog imports is ensuring that we have the full, most updated version of the product catalog. And we want to delete existing data because we want to make sure that the product catalog in our dev environment exactly matches the product catalog in our production environment. So in this instance, we want to delete existing data from the product catalog business object before we do the import. Before you check this box, you want to make sure that you have a backup of the data that we're deleting. In the event that you delete something that shouldn't have been deleted, a backup can be restored so you can be taken back to the previous step. Before we actually click the import button, I like to ensure that the import's going to work. Cherwell immediately runs through and processes the import without actually modifying any data. We can see that the import test was successful, and if for some reason it was not, it would have given us the rows or the line items that were not successfully able to be imported. Now that we know that everything worked, we're going to go ahead and click import. See that import was completed successfully, and that's it. If we log into the blue pill, we'll be able to see the lookup data for the product catalog table and see that all of our data was imported successfully. This is Robert with Beyond 20.